Well, hello everybody, welcome back to the Angry Robot. Today's review is the newest mold for the G1 Seekers Studio Series 86 Thundercracker. Thundercracker here was released in the first and latest wave for Studio Series 2026. He's one of the most sought after for being a redo of the G1 Seekers mold, with the last mold being Earthrise, Starstream, and the Seekers, and really not liked by most. Now this new mold starts off with Thundercracker this year, Skywarp around the end of the year, maybe Wave 2, and Starscream as a Target exclusive? Well, we have Thundercracker here in his alt mode, and by Go, he looks wonderful. The light faded blue looks perfect, and that charcoal gray is impeccable, making him look like he just popped out of the original cartoon. It is just perfect. The red and white stripes on the wings, contrasting against the blue, it's just a great alt mode overall. Not as much detail as the other figures though. Like Windcharger, Thundercracker is another example of Hasbro adding less detail to the figures to make it more cartoon accurate. Look at him compared to Dramatic Capture Starscream, otherwise known as the Earthrise mold. There is much less detail on Thundercracker than Starscream, though it doesn't change much other than if you like the figures to have tiny details, it's fine by me. At the bottom of the jet is where all Seekers are worse, because it's always a man folded up at the bottom of the jet. And here it is, very noticeable. Even worse, the chest has a giant hollow chunk in it, where the cockpit is supposed to go for robo mode. And the bottom isn't that bad. Again, look at Earthrise. But overall, the alt mode isn't bad. It's really good, even with the usual Seeker bottom. The alt mode has kind of two features, a flip-out landing wheel, and a cockpit that can open up and reveal basically no real detail in it. Kind of a bummer. Well, the new arrays he comes with can just attach to the bottom of the wings, a separate hole for each of them. Nothing really special with them, it's just where they usually go. Now for comparisons. The Optimus, the Bumble, and Skids, why not? Now for the Seekers I do own. Thrust and already shown Starscream. And Thundercracker just barely beats him out in alt mode just by the colors in the bottom. It just barely beats it out. It looks really good. Now the transformation is just really smooth and very simple once you really get into it. A few flips, panels collapsing, taking the legs out, taking the arms out of the chest, and hiding the nose cone into the chest. Really easy, really simple. Now the robot mode. This is where it excels. Starting with the head, this blackish charcoal gray and the lightest gray just blend so well together. And the shiny red eyes being light piped by clear plastic? I don't know. And his expression being just duh, or something really stupid. In the stock images, he had like 3 heads on, so I don't know. The chest looks good and slim with the flat details, nothing very different from Earthrise and then the flat details as I said. His arms look good with the no raise being in the accurate position on the bicep. The legs look very good and slim, but with a little bit of kibble, being the back wings on the legs. They can be removed and put on the back. Thank you 5 million port system for being there. Even the back is very slim with the attachable leg kibble. Even better than Earthrise back, which the only real thing that Earthrise does better is being able to move the wings backwards and not having them to be just stationary. Now for articulation. So there's on a ball joint that can look up that far and down that far due to an extra joint in the neck. His arms can go out that far, forward, no backwards, because of course the wings. This bicep swivel with which the thing can now move on, which kind of gets annoying when you're doing like this or this. A little more than 90-degree elbows, just a little more, just a sliver, and wrist swivel. There is a waist that is right here. You can just go right here. And can't go that much, but at least it's there. Legs can go out that far, and they're not designed to lock. It's just that there's this little grill here that stops it from going this way, but you still have to go out more that way. Excuse me. Very much good, like a 90 exactly. Thigh swivel, which is very tight, and there is an ankle pivot and a toe pivot that can move up but not down nor close, so you can get them into some really good poses with all that articulation. The only real accessories he comes with is his no raise being cast in clear and painted blue for some reason. The attachment to the bicep, as said before, and they move around when the arm is twisted. Very easy system. Now for comparisons, the Optimus, the Bumblebee, and the Skids again. And the rest of the Seekers I have, which Thundercracker mogs in comparison to, but doesn't make me like them any other less. I never hated really the Earthrise mold like others do online, but I can see why people don't like it. Now overall, 86 Thundercrackers are very good, and for me was an instant buy. Not because I always want to complete the Seekers, well that's kinda, but I've always liked Thundercracker. He would always look cool with the blue and the black combination. that no other real G1 character had, and mainly because he wasn't like any other Decepticon, who were dumb, evil brutes, but because he wasn't at all Decepticon. His original G1 description was that he was always on the brink of becoming an Autobot, always persuaded back into becoming a Decepticon, except in the show where he was just chill around people and never really that evil. The only recent time is in the Skybound comics, where it's perfectly done. Now overall, Thundercracker is a very good figure, good articulation, and a very good build-up, but the new Voyager price of $42 does diminish him a bit. But that isn't that much for Thundercracker. I'll recommend him if you haven't had a secret yet. This has been the Angry Robot, and see you later.